Alright, welcome back to the channel. This is my third attempt at trying to record this video. Unfortunately, this weekend has not been amazing as far as the weather. It's sleeting right now. Rained part of the day yesterday, and I was aggressive, a little too aggressive perhaps, and got up on the mountain trying to find a good place to record a panorama video. You know, I keep talking about that, and in pretty much every video can never get to a point where I can actually see a panorama in good lighting conditions. So anyway, I got up there. It was like about a 500 meter elevation gain, and yeah, was exhausted. Didn't get all the way up to the top of the mountain. Ran out of light. It was raining. Yeah, it was basically an utter failure. And this weekend has pretty much turned out to be the same way. Went downtown last night thinking I'm going to do a shoot in some moodier conditions in the rain, trying to take advantage of the rain. And then of course when I got downtown the rain stopped, or the rain had stopped before I got downtown, and it was completely dry, completely defeated the purpose of me driving all the way downtown to make that shoot. So I have decided that Mother Nature apparently does not like me. So I am going to try to make a video of the top 6 things that you can do when Mother Nature is pissed at you when she does not want you to record outside.
Let me see, little rat! Smite me! Oh, mighty smiter!
And hopefully you'll get a little bit of a laugh out of it, and hopefully I don't offend anybody in the process. These are not all serious, obviously. Some of them are serious, some of them not so much. The first one I may look a little green because I went out on the mountain roads driving and got a little nauseous. So I don't know if any of you guys suffer from such an affliction. It is not fun. So I had to rest a little bit. So that's one of the reasons why this video is a little late today too. So anyway, without further ado, let's get to the top 6 photographic things you can do when Mother Nature hates you.
Where are we going?
Okay, that was location number 1. All private property, no beach access. I assume it's beautiful views when it's not raining, but anyway, I've been driving for about 30 minutes. I think I will move on to location number 2, and if I can't see anything or get access to anything, then we'll move on to location number 3. Oh shit. Have you ever had one of those days? Let's try this for a third time. I am done scouting for the day. It is a freaking miserable day. I'm soaked. Just went out and tried to get out that waterfall. I don't even know if that waterfall is going to be anything worth posting, but beautiful waterfall, but couldn't get anywhere near it parking wise, and of course I gotta walk down there and get completely drenched on the way there. Yeah, this is insane. So yeah, I'm done for the day scouting. I will see you in the video here in just a bit. Okay, we are back with number 2, and this is a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek with a little bit of reality thrown into the mix. So this is about looking or watching camera reviews or lens reviews that you really have zero interest in. And I don't know if I'm the only one, but I am completely overwhelmed by this company that starts with an S and ends in Oni.
No!
So if you look at the volume of videos that are out there for Sony lenses and cameras, it's just insane, in my opinion. Now, they make good cameras and they make good lenses, don't get me wrong, but this is just out of control. So, yeah, I'm just scrolling down here to give people a little bit of an idea of what's available to you if you would like to watch a video on a camera review or a lens review that you really don't get 1,000 subs. Maybe I'm interested in that. And maybe they scratch the lens thing here, but the rest of this Sony stuff, yeah, not so much. So, wow, it just goes on and on and on and on. So I guess if you're a big Sony fan, you're in good shape on YouTube. So let's, yeah, I'm still scrolling. Oh, there's some Canon stuff. Canon, not so much. I don't mind so much. Yeah. All right, so let's just stop this here. This is just crazy. No more Sony. Okay, we are back with number 3, and this one is, I actually have to look it up. Watch camera and lens reviews that you are interested in but you can't afford. So, luckily the Nikon Z mount lenses, or the S line, whatever you want to call it, in my opinion, are not that expensive. Now, I know some people may disagree if you were to compare them to other lens manufacturers. Well, not Canon. Of course, Canon, almost all of their lenses are super expensive with the new RF mount. If you compare them to some of the Sony lenses, as much as I hate to compare them to Sony lenses. And what else do we have here? Yeah, we've got a number of options for reviews, cameras, things like that that you might want to watch that are Nikon related, and definitely skip over the Fro, in my opinion. He's always ripping on Nikon these days, so that guy. Yeah, so you've got lots of options. There's a couple lenses that I am interested in. I have not watched reviews recently on this 24-70, whoops, dang, that's the Fro again. This 24-70 2.8 I'm definitely interested in. And the 50 1.2 I'm somewhat interested in. I still don't know if I could justify the price. But for those of you who are interested in pricing, I did open up Nikon's website. This guy right here, obviously the 58 the Noct 0.95 manual focus, not really something that I'm interested in. I can't imagine that hardly anybody else is either. But if you're interested in looking at the price, this is in Canadian dollars, this is not in US dollars, but apologies for that. But yeah, 24-70 f2.8 is 3,000, but that Noct is 10,500 Canadian dollars, so that's pretty crazy. Never going to be in my bag. The 14-24 I hear is a fantastic lens, probably a little outside of my price range right now at 3,200 Canadian. Like I said, even the 24-70 f2.8 is pretty steep at 3,000 Canadian. And that 50 f1.2, although I hear is also beautiful, 3,000 Canadian. So not exactly super cheap when it comes to pricing, or super inexpensive I should say, but I think some pretty excellent lenses. So yeah, the new 85 1.2 I'm excited about. All right, let's move on to number 4. Okay, number 4. Let's start. This is actually learn a new technique, or actually mostly related to photography, but it doesn't have to be. This is something I think you obviously can do indoors when the weather is not amazing, as it is today for me, and yesterday, and the day before, and yeah, last weekend. But so I started on YouTube here, so obviously these are free. And you can see some of the ones that I have enjoyed watching recently on YouTube. I think this guy right here, Photo Tripper, is pretty cool. I can't remember what his actual name is, but he's quite funny. He's actually based out of Vancouver Island, I believe, but he's a Brit. Super cool humor. I like Adrian Alford too. He is awesome for a lot of landscape type photography and other things. Who else do I really like? Trying to think. YouTube's a great place to start, of course, but I like Creative Live personally. So this is not a paid advertisement, obviously. Don't get anything for suggesting them. This is my library on Creative Live. They have this thing called an all access pass, which I have bought in the past, and that gives you unlimited access to all of their videos for a fixed dollar amount, which ends up being about maybe $10 or $20 a month, something along those lines, which I think is pretty reasonable. So you can see that my interests have been in compositing, commercial portraiture, high fashion wedding photography, those types of things. It's primarily portraiture that my focus has been on. And I know that on the internet, pretty much everybody pushes Skillshare. I have not watched many videos on Skillshare, so I really can't say whether or not they're good or not. I have watched this YC imaging guy a couple of times, I think, and he's pretty good. So definitely worth a shot. I think you pay a monthly fee for Skillshare as well, if I'm not mistaken. So that is an option as well if you wanted to learn something new, Photoshop, Lightroom, just different compositing techniques, those types of things. Skillshare is an option. All right, number 5. This is a little bit of tongue-in-cheek, but a little bit of honesty, at least from my perspective. I found recently that I have this fascination with watches, specifically with luxury watches, and I don't even really wear a watch, but I find all these watch options and videos pretty fascinating. I think sometimes YouTube is such a bizarre world in the sense that there's just so much information out there on YouTube on areas that you just never would have imagined. And I never would have anticipated or thought about the fact that people would have been fascinated by watches. So who knows, maybe in the photography community I'm the only one that's interested in such a thing, but I did see Matt Granger recently post a video on a couple of watches, so I guess I'm not the only one. So yeah, so personally I like the Omegas, or Omega if you're overseas. I think those are some pretty fantastic watches. Everybody's been talking about the Grand Seikos as well. And of course, the Rolexes. Everybody's pretty much ripping on Rolex these days, at least online, mostly because they're so overpriced, in my opinion, but also because they are really difficult to find. So you'll find lots of watches, or lots of videos on Rolex, of course, where many are ripping on Rolex. I like this Federico Talks watch guy. He's pretty cool. And I also like this Jenny L. I think she's awesome. She is based out of Germany, I believe, and so it's good to see a perspective from overseas in Germany on watches from the lady side. So. Decide photography is really not for you, and look for other side hustles. So this is just kind of a smattering of people who focus on finance. This is another area I've been looking at a lot recently. I like this guy, Andre Jick. He's pretty cool. I also like Daniel Inskeep. He does photography on his main channel, but he also decided to create a finance channel. I thought some of his stuff recently has been pretty fascinating. Talks a lot about options and things like that, if you are interested in such a thing. And you know, you get these top 4. I like the Silicon Valley girl. I think she's originally from Russia. She's really cool. So is Andre Jick. And there's another guy named Tom. I don't know if he'll show up on the list here, but yeah. So if you get sick of photography, you can't do the things you'd really like to do by getting outside and doing working on your art, you got another option. That is to focus on finance, start a side hustle, increase your investment knowledge in stocks or options or those types of things. So anyway, everybody have a great rest of the day and enjoy your week.